Tensions escalated backstage as Gervonta and Lamont Roach came face to face ahead of their highly anticipated rematch. While Davis tried to provoke him with words, Roach remained composed, refusing to engage. His focus stays firmly on the fight itself, believing that what happens inside the ring will speak louder than any trash talk. Confident in his preparation, Roach is convinced he will emerge victorious.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Lamont Roach has confidently dismissed claims that Gervonta is the most powerful opponent he's faced. According to Roach, he's been hit harder in previous fights, and Davis's power doesn't intimidate him. His calm demeanor reflects his experience and resilience, reinforcing the idea that he won't be shaken by hype or reputation.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hit,
In their first encounter, a brief lapse from Davis led him to take a knee, an unexpected moment that sparked chaos and shifted public perception. Roach's performance during that critical sequence elevated his status, positioning him as the first to truly challenge Davis. Since then, the narrative has grown. Roach is now seen by many as a genuine threat who could potentially dominate the rematch.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted in the fight.
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like the governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit. When I fought Andre, that shit was burning my eyes, so I cut that off.
Recent training footage reveals a revitalized Gervonta, leaner, stronger, and more mentally focused, with visible improvements in his conditioning and a confident presence online. Davis appears more determined than ever. Fans are energized, interpreting his transformation as a sign that he's preparing for a commanding return. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. praised Davis's explosive fighting style, highlighting his ability to blend raw power with refined technique. While Jones acknowledged that the fight could go either way, he expressed confidence that Davis's dominance and ring presence would ultimately be too much for Roach to handle.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach, because we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But then when the pro rounds take over, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in at. You got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like he understands it, he gonna make it rough for anybody. But, you know, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win, oh, he gonna win.
Many believe Davis was not at his best in the first fight, whether due to personal distractions or a flawed game plan. With his pride now on the line, Davis appears laser-focused on redemption. His training and public statements suggest that this rematch is more than just revenge. It's a mission to reassert his supremacy and silence all doubt.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown. But ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, you know, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. You know, the left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. You know, most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. You know, I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Roach's ambitions extend far beyond just winning. He wants a knockout. His relentless training reflects a desire to make a definitive statement. A decisive victory over Davis could be career-changing, propelling him into the boxing elite and cementing a legacy built on both skill and relentless determination.
That you sent him to retirement earlier.
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, so you know, if that happens in the midst of it, you know, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie. I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So yeah, it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been before. Mm-hmm. Heck, the fight they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really got me.
Roach has expressed quiet confidence in his readiness, claiming he possesses the full range of tools needed to win. His remarks don't stem from arrogance, but from a belief grounded in hard work and preparation. He trusts his ability to adapt to whatever Davis brings to the ring.
Beat 30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? What makes you different?
He probably can't answer that question. He probably can't answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. That's evidently a power puncher. I got too much.
Trainer Greg Hackett emphasized that the pressure is equally intense for both fighters. In his view, the match hinges on absolute precision. For Davis especially, Hackett stressed the importance of focus and discipline. There is no room for error at this level of competition.
It's rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, you know, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed. He possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge, just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking a knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night, and you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for, and he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia offered a nuanced perspective, highlighting Davis's talent for adapting and learning from setbacks. However, he warned that even the best strategies fail without mental clarity. For Garcia, Davis's mindset will be the deciding factor. If he's not mentally prepared, the outcome could be disastrous.
And hopefully, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active, and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe
it turns if Mark gets back,
maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think
the edge.
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. I mean, if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
But it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, let him do it. I don't know. Dude.
Trainer Kenny Ellis acknowledged Roach's dedication in the gym, but cautioned against reading too much into training clips. According to Ellis, real fights are won not just through drills, but in moments of pressure, when fatigue sets in and punches start landing. For him, Davis's inner grit and willpower will make the difference.